okay? Because those shares kind of, you're gonna like you're gonna basically what you see here, you don't remember we talk about the stock dividend. It won't change the economically, right? So it won't change the existing shareholders, the ownership, right? They before they own 10%, after that they still own 10%. Okay. What happened? It just have what? It just have a less, got the just have a less shares basically. Okay. So that's what we talk about. So like a stock dividend, like same pie. This is very good. The you know the word talk about that. It's still same pie, but you have more slices. Okay, for the stock dividends. If you issue stock dividends, still same pie, but more slices. Let's say this is let's say this is the cheese pizza. Okay, a cheese pizza. If this is cheese pizza, not pizza, then we have more slices, right? So then when you calculate what is how much cheese we have per slice, then definitely you're gonna see less, right? So like that. Okay. So this is how we calculate. Okay. So we still have, this is built on, right? So we still have 60 million shares outstanding at the beginning all the way to the end. And then we also issue 12 million new shares. Now, on June 17, we issue 10% stock dividends. Okay, 10% stock dividends. What happened? We will be like this. This is the calculation. We still have 154, right? So 154 is the net income. And now it's still divided by 60 plus 12 times 10 over 12. We're okay with that, right? But now, because we have 10% stock dividends, remember, number of shares 60, now it's not 60 anymore, right? It should increase by 10%. That's why you want to times 1.1, okay? And how about that 12 million shares? You're also going to increase by 10%, right? So that's why you also times 1.1. Okay, so now the total weighted average is now 77. Okay, so then we got this $2 as earning per shares.
How can I get the 1.10?
10% stock. Before is 100 shares. Now you give them 10% means 10. That's why you got 110, right? Okay.
Oh,
So that's how we got a 1.1. Okay. So 60 shares after that stock dividends will become 66 million shares, right? That's why it increased by 1.1. Any other question? It makes sense, right? Because number of shares increase. That's why, the earning per shares decrease, right? Before, without this, where's that one? It's this, right? 2.2, right? You can see that 2.2, okay? So right now is $2 only, okay? Because the stock dividends. Now we have more shares outstanding, okay? So what else? Yeah, now it's time to talk about, the share repurchase, right? Okay. So remember when you purchase shares, okay, from the market, and then you keep those shares, for example, it's treasury stock, or you're gonna retire those shares, okay? So number of shares outstanding gonna decrease, right? Number of shares outstanding gonna decreases, okay? So that's why you need to subtract, okay? You need to subtract those shares you purchased, okay? So the subtraction also need to think about the weight, okay? Think about the weight. Let me show you this example, okay? So everything's the same except this, right? So 8 million shares we reacquired at the treasury stock, okay? We purchased back 8 millions. That's why number of shares outstanding gonna decrease by 8 millions. Is that right? Decrease by 8 millions. Okay. So you need to subtract the 8 millions. But Okay, you still have this, right? But the 8 millions should have a weight because those 8 millions exist for what? From the beginning all the way to October, right? They disappeared only for 3 months. That's why when you subtract 8 million, you need times 3/12, right? It disappeared from the outstanding group, okay? So only for 3 months. That's why you need to time the weight, okay? 8 times 3/12. That's how we get this weighted average. And now the earning per share is $2.05. Any question?
Sir, for the stock dividend, so it says it's on the June 17.
Yes,
So no matter which month of the year they have a stock dividend, we still need to divide the months before. Is that correct?
divide the months. What do you mean?
So like because the stock dividend is on June 17,
Yes,
so we also need to uh multiple on January and March.
you talk about this part, right? This part?
Uh-huh.
Yes, because the stock, remember stock dividends not because stock dividend issued on June 17.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, you already have how many shares we have? We have 60 plus 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
72. Not only 60 going to receive stock 10%, but these 12 shares also going to receive 10%. That's why
Okay.
both going to times 1.1.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
That makes sense?
Okay.
Okay, but not this one, not this treasury stock. Treasury stock also already after that.
Mm.
You cannot times 1.1. Okay,
Okay, got it.
makes sense? Questions? Any other question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it, can you go back to like the 1.10?
One
Like how did we get 1.10 again?
1.10.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your
About the like 10% stock dividend was
yeah,
distributed.
yeah.
How did
What is
you
your
get 1.10?
how do you get a 1.10? 1 point because it's a 10% stock was dividends was issued before, in this case, before the 60, right? Before it's 60, let's talk about this 60, okay? Before the 60, now we give them 10%. How many shares we give them? 6, right?
Yeah.
So how many shares total? 66, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How to get 66? 60 times 1.10. You got the 60.
Oh,
Okay, that's why we
okay.
times 1.1.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. Any other question? No question? Good. Okay, so let's work on this, okay?